guys, just going to highlight a new jig from OSP. Fish Tech Solutions is bringing this jig in really toward, dedicated towards the bass market. However, the yellow belly guys, this will be a great lure for them, and even to a degree some of the cod guys, because even though this jig is really compact and smaller in size variation, it does have a very strong hook and it can handle relatively large fish. Originally designed for the largemouth bass as a finesse jig for the largemouth bass over in Japan and America, and which means it's a great product for our Australian bass, obviously not getting to that same large scale size. We'll have a quick look, take a quite close look at these jigs. So as you'd expect, the finish on them is what a Japanese company would put out. The airbrush paint job, coincides with the skirt variations. Just a couple of things to note about this jig, what makes it really special. The hook or toe point on that jig actually runs crossways as opposed to this way. And it also rides up at a approximately 45 degree angle. The weed guard, not sure if you can see that in the camera, but the weed guard actually, it's an oval weed guard, not a compact round weed guard, so it's got a bit more coverage. A really good trick to use with these jigs is just to splay or open the weed guard slightly, and that just gives you the potential for a better hookup on some of those bites. But that doesn't affect the traditional snaglessness of this jig when coming through timber. The hook itself is really compact. If I turn that over and sort of sit it on top of my hand, you can see that really short skirt just sort of poking out the back end of that hook, while that hook is I can put a fair bit of pressure on that hook and not budge it, but the point itself is still exceptionally sharp. Like you can't get anywhere near it. The weed guard, the keeper on it is also a double keeper, so holds trailers on these jigs really well. It grabs onto them and holds on. Another thing that you can't really see, we'll have a look and see if we can see it on this one, is that these skirts are actually, you can see the binding cotton there, that little bit of black poking through there. They're actually bound on, so physically bound and then finished off with varnish or a resin of some sort, which stops that skirt from sliding down. You won't get pantsed on this. If you do get a bite and you pop it out of the fish's mouth, it's going to stay as is, and then the fish will come back and grab it again. So these go really well. As you can see, this one's already rigged with a Do Live craw trailer, an OSP craw trailer. So these come in the packaging like so. I'll just show you how we rig these when we're going to put a trailer on. So we just turn that jig upside down. You can see that. What I do is I just nip the top of that craw off just to make it a little bit shorter. That's just a personal preference. It's what I do. I like, again, that compact version of jig, and we just pop that hook straight into the top of that, slide it down, turn it around and out the top of the head, keeping it nice and straight. We then just slide it over the top of that double keeper, swing her over, and there's the jig. And again, you can see those claws are just out the bottom. They've got a fair bit of buoyancy in them, so they'll have the tendency to ride up, which coincides with that hook and that weed guard. So that's the OSP JIG ZERO. Rod of choice when fishing one of these jigs through structure is the Edge BCR 704 in the Black Widow, or the Delta 744 if you're looking at a bait cast reel. The Edge Black Widow has the smooth carbon graphite grips, recoil guides, and this version extremely light and sensitive rod, which is a big plus when walking that jig through structure. So that's the OSP JIG ZERO 1. Comes in packaging like that. and a great addition to any of you guys looking forward to the jig season for the best dams.